chakras. So I hope you all are enjoying it. You're enjoying the knowledge. It is vast. There's much, much more to learn from this and to know about it, because once we have the knowledge, we can actually work on it. So today we will be talking about the lower chakras. So far we have been knowing about only the 7 important chakras which are located along our spine, and they control all the mental and physical action of our entire body. So the last Friday, we spoke about the one more important chakra, that which is known as the Bindu chakra, which is again very important, but very few places, very few people talk about this chakra. However, this chakra is very important because again, it is connected with it is located in the brain. It connects, it is more subtler than Agya chakra, more powerful than Agya chakra, and moon resides in this chakra, and every day, every single day, that moon which resides in this chakra drops a secreted drop of nectar, which if we are knowledgeable enough, and if we have done a lot of tap, and we know how to take it, how to consume this nectar, then there's no need to eat or drink anything, because this drop of nectar takes care of our complete physical need of the food and the water and all. There's no need to take it. And I gave you example also. We learned about 2 more examples who were living, who are both dead, but they were alive, and a lot of people, they spoke about them. And the one yogi who recently died during this COVID time in the month of May was alive, and he claimed that he did not eat anything or drank anything for 76 years. Plus, so he was kept in one of the hospital under the scrutiny eyes of scientists and doctors and all. And 24/7 he was under that camera eyes and all. People were watching him, and he was there in the hospital for a month. And they all vouched, and they said that he did not drink anything, he did not eat anything. So it has been proven that there are people who survive. And how do they survive? They say they survive, they know the yogic kriya, they are involved enough to use that yogic kriya, to use that drop of nectar every day. Today we will be talking about the lower chakras. So far we have learned that the lowest chakra is the Muladhara chakra, the highest chakra is the Sahasrara chakra. This is not true. As I said in our earlier lesson, that wherever the nadis intersect each other, chakras are formed. So we learn only about these 7, but there are few chakras which are located in the legs. So let's learn about them. It is purely for the knowledgeable values and nothing else. But it's important to learn about them also. Ravi, can we have that audio visual?
Yes.
The introduction of lower chakras.
In the books of Hindu philosophy, it is said that Kundalini, in her cosmic form, is the architect of life. She is the creator, sustainer, and dissolver of all centers of being, including human. She creates by descending through the different chakra levels, sustains by abiding in Muladhara chakra, and dissolves by ascending through the chakra levels. When Kundalini descends to the lower chakras, then she is the cause of delusion, limitation, and lack of knowledge, that is Maya. As she descends, Kundalini becomes progressively grosser and loses her power and subtlety. In animals, insects, plants, etc., the Kundalini resides and sustains from levels below the Muladhara chakra. In fact, the Tantric scriptures list 7 more chakra levels below Muladhara. The 7 lower chakras from highest to lowest are Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Taltala, Rasatala, Mahatala, and Patala.
We can stop it here, Ravi. Let's stop it here. Let's stop. So as you know, when we are under the we are engulfed with Maya all around us, and we are not at all evolved. We don't know the purpose and all. We become very materialistic. We suffer from ego and Sadaripu that I keep talking about, that Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Isha, Ahankar. Kam, Krodh is desire and anger. Lobh, Moh is attachment and greed. And Isha, Ahankar is jealousy and ego. They are, as I told you earlier, that they all travel in pairs or in groups. So if we suffer from one, if one enters in us, all of us, we have this, but the degree varies, as I said. Some of us must maybe having more higher degree of these Sadaripu. So we suffer. We say that we suffer because of our own self. Someone else cannot make us suffer. If we don't accept, if we don't expect too much, we will not suffer. If we don't, if we start accepting whatever we can't change, we again stop suffering. And ego is the biggest enemy of any human being because it engulfs us. Once ego sets in, it comes along with jealousy, anger, because once you are egoistic, and if your ego is getting hurt, you become angry, you become jealous. At times you become stressed because you keep thinking that what will people say? This is not happening according to me. What will people think about me? I'm not doing enough. So that ego comes along with its friends, and they take charge everywhere in your mind. Even your mind is under that ego, and you cannot help it. That's the time when the Kundalini is the divine being. When you are not hearing it, as I said, it sleeps. But it starts traveling down, means we start putting up more dust of that Maya around us. And this Shakti becomes more grosser and grosser and grosser. It leaves its subtlety. It doesn't understand what its power is. And it gets engulfed with all these Sadaripu. So let's learn about those 7 lower chakras. First, understand what is the difference between any other living being and human. Human being, because we are in a vertical state. We are straight, okay? So we are the only fortunate being who can take our energy upward. Rest any of the living being, animal or birds or the beings living in the water and all, they don't have that power that human being has. We only can take our prana and move our prana in the upward direction. Take that prana, the divine being, that Shakti, whenever we work on it, we do tapasya and all, we can take that energy upward and let it merge with the divine being, that Shiva. Okay, only we have that power. Rest all the animals and the mammals and everyone, even the monkey. I know you are saying monkey, but they are not that intelligent enough to understand. They have some brain, but again, all the time they are not staying like this. They do go on their full hands and legs. They do jump, I know, but all the time they are not straight like human, like us. Whereas have you seen, other than people who are actually suffering, who are whose legs are not working, they use their hands. Otherwise, have you seen anyone? We are the only fortunate being who are vertical, who remain vertical, who can gain knowledge, who can activate our intellect mind, who can activate that Shakti inside and take it upward. Otherwise, understand the animals, they are on their four hands and legs. So their Muladhara chakra and the Swadhisthana chakra, all of them, they are in the same line. It's not upward like us. Our lowest, so their lowest chakra and the highest chakra are in the same line. So they cannot gain that enlightenment, or they cannot gain that kind of knowledge. What we are fortunate, the human beings are fortunate to get that. They cannot. Okay? So the very first one, again, as the Kundalini start moving downward, it becomes more subtle. So people who just simply doesn't know if they have pain, and they have done a lot of tests and everything, reports they have taken out, yet they don't find why there is pain in their hips, and they are constantly in that fear and too much of lust. We all know that it's not normal. Fear of death, a lot of people suffer from that. Because again, that what is there to be fearful? It's an ultimate truth. All of us, whoever has taken birth, has to die one day, right? So we have to accept it, that one day we are going to die. In fact, the yogis and all, they live their life as if they are going to die now. So they never keep anything unpending. They finish everything. That's very same moment, because they say that hame malum hi nahi hum kab marenge, unless until we get that vardhan, that then all those proper positive qualities start, you start enhancing those positive qualities, and all these sadaripu automatically become lesser and lesser in us. So can we have the second lower chakra, that is Vitala chakra?
Yes.
Second, Vitala chakra. For people living in the consciousness of this second lower chakra, which is
that all these lower chakras are well balanced, we don't fall into that category, and we have to take our prana, our energy, our conscious relation also. It may strain your relation with your Niya and Dhyavas also. Okay? So next one. Can we have the next, which is your Sutala chakra, which reside on your knees? Ravi?
Yes.
Tala chakra. Can we have that video, audio visual, Ravi?
Yes.
Fourth, Tala chakra. Centered in the calf muscles of our body, this
chakra who are in constant anger. So that means their consciousness keep living in that, who are all the time confused. You ask them to take any decision, they cannot. They are confused. They cannot decide anything. All the time they keep thinking, they have doubt on it. They have self-doubt. They have doubt on self. They have doubt on others, whether it was done rightly. Such people's consciousness keep living in that part of the body. Such people start suffering from the, okay? So this chakra, the Tala chakra, if the people's consciousness reside over there, it gives rise to sure that, okay, whatever we are thinking, whatever we are doing is right. And for that, we don't want to work from our 5 to 7% of the, once your intellectual mind is operating, obviously there is no confusion. So such people who live in this chakra, they are not know about their full capacity. They do not know how to use it. Such people will be highly beneficial if they do meditation. See that clearly, immediately. Okay? Now, once people start moving down, further down, so if they are, so they start moving downward, obviously not upward. So down, where do they go? They go to the Rasatala chakra, which is further down. Further move down to Mahatala chakra, which reside in their feet, the upper part of their feet.
And discomfort in their feet.
Just for the religion purpose, but is it true religion? They should answer, they should keep questioning themselves to the Patala chakra, the last one. Further there, from there, we cannot reside. In the beginning of the sessions, I did discuss about one book, Laws of the Spirit World. And in that book, it's clearly mentioned because okay, it can be full of controversy, but people say that, okay, people who have died, who have, in that book, it said that a mother loses two of their, die. Where do we go? So that book explains very well. So that book said that soul has to, on the basis of their karma, their action, they choose or they go to these lokas. The first two loka are known as the we have willpower through which we can do good karma or bad karma. On the basis of that, we move ahead or we move downward. And fourth lok onwards, fourth world onward, we start, you can say, see, kitna paap karoge? Are you going to live in Patal? What is Patal? Patal is hell. Patal lok, the hell lok. What is that? Can we have that last audio visual, Ravi?
Yes.
Seventh, Patala chakra. Residing in the soles of the feet, this chakra is the dwelling place of malice, feelings of revenge, murder, and hatred.